I
Good
like
evening. Good evening, SBC. We are here for Tuesday Talk. So everyone say hello. Hey. I think we're live in Single Black Christians and Single Black Christian Connection. So we are so excited to be here tonight for Tuesday Talk. And it is a special edition called Meeting in the Ladies Room. Don't y'all love that? Meeting in the ladies' room. We couldn't play the music, but if somebody can sing, please sing it. But anyway, that will not be me. So I'm gonna get the ladies an opportunity to introduce themselves as you are here for the meeting in the ladies' room. Give us your name, your location, and your relationship status. But before we go there, needs to turn something off in the background. You got something playing. Okay. All right. So give me your name, your location, and your relationship status. I know we're single, but we're either single and currently dating. We're single and we on hiatus. We just chilling. We ain't got no time right now. Or we're single and still waiting to be found. We're ready to be found, to be sought. Okay. All right. Start with Teresa. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, I am Teresa. I am located in North Carolina, and I am single and waiting to be found.
All right now. Who name's Keena?
Hello, I am Keena. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. I am single and dating, and I can be sought as well. It can go down the DMs.
Dee Dee.
I can't even touch that. I just can't. I'm Dee Dee Miles, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I am single, dating, and waiting still to be found. I'm all of the above.
Amen. Amen. All right, Josette. Tell us what's up, girl.
I'm Josette. I'm in Sacramento, California. I'm single, and I went on a really good date today.
Ooh, maybe she'll tell us about it later on. Okay, now. Hey, Shannon. Hi. We are got everybody going. We going around. You just got on. We're telling your name, your location, and your relationship status. So you single and something. So you tell us what the something is.
Woo! I am Shannon. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, and I am actually dating someone.
She just blushing. And I am Leslie. I am in Birmingham, Alabama, and I am single. And I'm all of the above too. I'm single and I'm dating, and I'm waiting to be found, to be sought, to be touched, and all that. So I'm here for it. Be in the DM as well. Please be respectful, because I have no problem blocking and deleting. All right, ladies. This is our typical Tuesday talk, but as we say, meeting in the ladies' room. So it is ladies only. It's us, y'all, and we're gonna represent, right? All right.
Always.
So let's start with our questions. We lost Josette. We know she'll be right back. So I know because she's gonna kick it off for us too. Also, because we want to know about this date later on. So let's start with our question. The first question we have is from Shannon. She asked us, how do you keep your insecurities in check when pursuing a new relationship? So, we're all here to be very transparent. I will hope you'd want to be transparent so we can show how real we are, because what we deal with, everyone else deal with in some way or form or fashion, right? So tell us, what do you think of some of your insecurities and how do you keep that in check in a new relationship? Go ahead, Didi.
Well, one thing about me is when we talk about insecurities, I'm thinking about things like trust issues, things of that nature. Is that other person being faithful, or things like that. And so what I tend to think about is what's triggering these insecurities. Something has to be going on because naturally, I'm speaking for myself, naturally, you want to come into it, you want to come in it with all your cards on the table, you want to be transparent, but something happens that throws that red flag up, and you have to say, wait a minute. So I that makes me look at that individual a little more closer, you know, what's going on. And so I have to talk to myself and say, because sometimes we self-sabotage and be like, listen, self, you know, we don't have all the answers up front. Let's walk it out. Let's wait and see. And being prayerful all along, you know, one thing I do pray for is exposure. So if that person that I'm entertaining isn't right for me, I'm asking God to expose them so that I can remove myself before becoming hurt.
All right. Mike, oh, that's right. Anyone else want to answer, to respond?
I think that oh goodness. I think that one of my biggest insecurities is that I overthink everything. I am like the CIA. I am digging for the truth constantly, and sometimes I read more into a situation. It's just a cigar. It's just a hey. It's not a hey. It could be hey. But sometimes if you're feeling some type of way already, you will overthink into a situation. So I have to always bite that back. Mic off.
Oh,
Okay.
anyone else? I know for me, I'm kind of like I'm a mixture between Dee Dee and Keena. I do have trust issues. You know, when you've been lied to before or mishandled in that way, you really want to give people an opportunity. You know, I'm gonna believe you until you show me I can't believe you. So I'm gonna start on a positive. I'm always gonna start on a positive until you give me reason to always question. And so if I'm always questioning, that's when I really want to back away because that's too much work. And then that requires you to overthink. So now you're hearing and you're trying to pick apart everything they're saying. And, you know, and that's hard. But I also believe in communication because, you know, I'm going to tell you that, hold on, something's not right. And this is, and this is what happened when you did lie. And now we have to rebuild this trust. So we're going to have to be intentional, or that person going to be intentional about rebuilding that trust with me. And sometimes they don't want to work that hard. So if you don't want to work that hard, then you don't need to be here. So so when it's new and you're already dealing with that level of a type of issue when they really don't have to, because you should be lighthearted and having fun and getting to know each other, then it's probably sometimes ready. It's time to move on, especially when it's new, because there's no need to do all that at the beginning. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I must say I do agree. Leslie, you really kind of was saying some of the same things I was thinking. There are red flags, you know, trust issues. And you usually have trust issues because of something that has happened in past relationships. It could start out good, it start out lighthearted until you give me a reason to question or not trust. Then, you know, that's when the insecurities start, I feel like. And yes, it's too much work to keep, you know, things keep popping up. You ask questions, they lie, or they, you know, they lie. So, yeah, too much work. Let it go.
Joe said you got a response.
What is this one? The first question about keeping your insecurities in check? I'm dealing with that right now. You know,
wow.
you know, like I think I kind of mentioned the question about, you know, when the guy from the past comes back. You know what I'm saying? First of all, with new people, I'm just one of the crazy ones that I trust. In the very beginning, I trust you, I respect you. It's not something that's be earned. I give it to you, which that makes me kind of the one that's okay. I'm gonna take this chance. then, you know, later finding out that, okay, you've been lying all along. You're married. You know what I'm saying? And now, a year and a half later, he's back, you know, with divorce papers and all that. But it's just something about me and him that connects. I've never felt that connection before. So before we met for a few minutes, I want to say last week, you know, and you know, he showed me all the papers and all this divorce stuff and explained a lot of stuff for me. We went out on a date today, and it's like you know, but I have been praying. I have been praying for God to reveal to me, you know, the spirit of him at this point. You know, has he been healed of the negative spirits that he's had? Has he put in the emotional and spiritual work with you, God, in order for you and him to connect on a different level so that he doesn't do these things again? Now, where this is headed to, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I have to be able to start with friends and be able to have an open heart to begin with, to see then where God is leading it to. But now, like today, like I didn't feel any kind of insecurities or lies or anything like that at all, which is weird for me. Once you lie to me, it's over. It's done. You know, I can't get, you know, boy, bye, you know, kind of thing. But that didn't happen with this person. So it's really strange. It's really strange. And I'm like, oh, God, what is it now? But
See, I'm glad you said that. That puts me in mind of the next question. And I guess it's kind of, we need to understand, because Shannon asked a question about struggle love. And all of this is related to how much do you tolerate in a relationship? How much struggle are you willing to deal with? So tell me, I mean, how much is too much?
I let go. I think that's why I've never been married a day in my life. I would tell somebody, get by. There's the door. Let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. And I said that old school terminology because that's how many years I've been saying it. So in the past, I've never, I just firmly believe that this the reason that I have not been married, because I would not tolerate the struggle.
And that struggle is not only like the personality of that person, their behavior. It could be like, you know, Shannon's alluding to their financial status. You know, are we always trying to help you boost yourself up and encourage you and all these kind of things, or whatever your past is? Now you got to rebuild your life and we're helping you. I mean, how much, you know, how do you deal with that? Or do you even deal with that?
I think all of that revolves around an emotional spirit. You have emotional growth and emotional maturity. And everything that we encounter in life touches that emotional part of our spirit. Can you grow in that area out of where you've been? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with dealing with insecurities. Some of the reasons was that maybe the man made me feel more insecure. So I wouldn't tolerate him because it made me feel more insecure. Some of it was on my part in the past. You know what I'm saying? So now, being more emotionally mature, feeling more secure about myself, feeling more stable emotionally, and feeling more, you know, like I trust and believe the compliments that I get now. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas before I had the insecurities so bad that I didn't believe people when they, or you know, whoever I was dating when they're giving me a compliment. But this man today, when he looks at me in the eyes and tells me these certain things about me, I trust that and I feel like I can believe that.
Shannon, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to speak on the first question. I asked that question more so not about the things that we've been through or the red flags, just what insecurities that we have that are our own, that we can own ourselves. How do we keep those things in check? Because, you know I have them. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know I have them. And sometimes if you don't put those things in check and you bring them into a new situation, it's almost like self-sabotage. So you've already damaged a relationship or a potential relationship before it can even get off the ground, because we're bringing our own stuff into it and how we feel about ourselves. And, you know, it could tie into, it could be financial, it could be emotional hurt, it could be physical, it could be anything. But how do we, in our quest to pursue these new relationships, how do we keep those things at bay? How do we check those things? And I was asking because I know that that was something that I have to consciously check on a daily basis, because at the end of the day, our insecurities are our insecurities. They don't belong to anybody else but us. And either we can keep them at bay, keep them in check, or we give them power. And when we give them power, they overtake those things that could potentially be something positive in our life. And so that's why I asked that question, because I wanted to see if anyone else either struggled with it or is trying to do it. And if you are, what are you doing to combat those things?
And I like because you broke it down a little bit better than how I think we were talking about at the beginning. Is because sometimes we look at those insecurities when they come to relationships based on past relationships. But we all, like you said, have insecurities within our personal being. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? What are you complaining about? What do you feel uneasy about? What are you always, feeling like I'm not good enough in certain areas or certain of your mental being, your spiritual being, your physical being? What do you see in the mirror? And and some of those insecurities are coming out of us not loving ourselves completely. And I was telling a friend of mine a few weeks ago that something that God told me on my birthday. He said, I need you to see yourself like I see you. I need you to see the woman of God, the woman that I see. Because when you see that woman, you will walk different. You will think different. You will live different. You will expect to be treated differently. Okay? So I think that's inner work. That's time with God work. That's prayer. That's reading his word. That's understanding what his word has said that you are. And then when you go out into interacting with these potential men, you walking like the woman of God that he has already called you to be. And when you do, they'll respond to us differently. The ones who that don't need to be there will run to the hills because they know they're not ready, right? And the ones that need to be there, that are there for the challenge, that are there for your good, will do their best to court you and do all the things that they're supposed to do. Is that not right, ladies? That makes sense? Okay. So back to the struggle love. Because Shannon is talking about it, are we looking for men that have achieved a particular financial status? This can apply in so many areas of a man's being, because we have Black men who are out here who have a past of some sort that circumstance has brought them to, and now they're trying to rebuild their life. And are we willing to help them deal with that? And I think Josette mentioned, men who may have been in prison, they may have had a past drug issue, they may have had several relationships that have produced some children. We all have a past, and sometimes our past can lead to certain situations that we just have to deal with. And that's part of the struggle. So how do y'all deal with guys when you come in and when you encounter them that have something? I mean, let me ask you this way: what is something here that you say, "Hold up, I don't want to deal with that"? I mean, off the top, you got your list of questions, and when he says "bum bum bum," you're like, "Oh, nope, ghost." What are some of those things? Kingdom, go ahead, baby.
I was sitting to think about this question, and I think for most of us, we should come to our relationships self-sufficient, that you should be able to take care of yourself independent of another person. But I think what's happened is that we have glorified struggle love. Struggle love, in a way, is manipulation.
Okay.
Okay, there are terms that have come from struggle. Because there's a term that's come out of struggle love called a hobosexual, which is a person that seeks a relationship only for the means of gaining a place to sleep at night. And that's a real thing. I think you should have standards that you're willing to deal with. And guess what? And this may be controversial, but my love is conditional. You're not going to take me through foolishness, poor decisions, and all of that mess with me. Okay? I'm not perfect by any means. But when I come to a relationship, I can pay the tab if I want to. I can go home to my home if I want to. And why is it that we do not demand what we demand for ourselves in our future mates? I think that speaks more to what we, being nurturers, can be manipulated. Because financial abuse is a real thing. Emotional abuse is a real thing. And those things come out of glorifying struggle love. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to struggle together on some things, but when we come to the table and meet, regardless of the past that we have, are you taking care of your business? If you have 4 or 5 children out there, are you making sure those children are taken care of? Or when we get married, is my income going to be subjected to your failed child support? Those are real. Yes, I did. That's being an adult. That's being because we expect that for ourselves. Why don't we expect it for someone that's supposed to care for us?
Amen.
And that says a lot more about us than them. Mike out.
Okay, that's real talk. Who else got something to say? Keena don't play. All right, y'all.
She don't play. But if I can be transparent, I don't want to struggle. This is God's honest truth. I don't want to struggle. Your struggle before you met me is your struggle. Meaning, what I mean by that is I need to see the man in my life get up. I need to see him work it out. I need to see him with all feet on the ground and he's putting his hands at work, because if he's unable to do it by himself, what he then will do is what Keena said, a hobo. What you call him?
Hobosexual.
Hobo. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. I can't do nothing for you. Not nothing. Not Nathan Daniels, boo. I need to see you get it for yourself, because if you can make it on your own, when we come together as a team, we can take over the world. But prior to that, you need to handle your business. Mic off.
I agree with both of them.
She said,
I'm not struggling.
Okay.
I agree with all y'all too, because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised. I mean, my dad went to work every day. You know, my dad worked for the phone company for 42 years. He retired 3 months before he died. 3 months before he died, he retired after 42 years. So I witnessed a man, my father, go to work and make us feel like we never need anything. Make us feel like we had way more than we really had. You know, how did my dad make all that work with this amount of money? You know, and so I know God is able, and He can work through a hardworking man. So I'm traditional like that. I like to see a man work. You know, I like to see a man drive the car and not ride in my car. You know, it's a lot. I'm sorry. I've been driving my car for 30 years. I don't want somebody to drive me around. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, we all have agreed we are not going to struggle, right?
No.
So whatever men are out there,
I feel
looking at any of the women on this show tonight who are interested in any of these women on this show tonight, need to know you need to have your stuff in order and be able to take care of yourself 100%, yourself and your responsibilities 100%. 100%.
Hey,
Amen.
Leslie.
Amen.
Yeah. I was going to say, and the caveat to that is that we're not asking for anything that we're not capable of bringing ourselves. Just like Tina said, each
That's
person
right.
would come to the
Now,
relationship able to take care of themselves. Like I don't want to be your homosexual. I'm not trying to live off of you. I have my, you know what I mean? And then we come together and we can build something great. But we both have to come with something. If you, you know, if you don't have your things together, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna, you know, demean you or anything like that. That just means that you're not ready for a relationship. Because if we're dating with the purpose of marriage, you can't take care. How you gonna take care of a whole family? You know, you don't have your things together. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm not gonna dog you. I'm not gonna treat you like less than a man. But you're just not ready to be in a relationship. Because I'm not gonna ask nothing of you that I'm not willing to bring. Period. Mic off.
All right. Anyone else got some response to this? I think we've all. Oh, wait, go ahead, Josette.
I was just gonna say real quick that just touching a little bit on the first thing, I think the transition of having the insecurities into not having insecurities and working on that and changing that habit, because it is a habit and it's a mental habit to have those insecurities. When that transitions and you become that woman that you are secure and stable within your mind, body, and soul, then you also transition the type of men that you want to date. Because there was a time when I found a homeless one and I thought I could fix him. I found the drug addict. I found the, you know what I'm saying? I was like, well, I could fix him. I found the handicapped one. Nothing's wrong with handicap, but he had no ambition. He just wanted me to, you know, look, I found, you know, yeah, the homeless one standing on the bus stop with no lollipop. I found them all. But, you know, and that with that transition, because dealing with my insecurities was something that I learned that was very, very, very simple. Just learn how to say thank you and learn how to receive, you know what I'm saying? Receive the compliment. A lot of times as women, oh, your hair looks nice. Oh, this old thing, I just pulled this out the drawer. You know, that just don't explain away your compliments. And that's what helped me with my security, was being able to cringe my toes and just say thank you. It built me up as a woman to receive it and believe in the compliments that I was getting, which then transitioned me into a different type of man. Like the guy that I just saw today, he doesn't have it all together, but he's in the Navy, but he lives on base now because the transition to divorce and all that stuff. So he lives on base. He has his own stuff. He just bought a brand new car. He's dealing with, you know, so together for me doesn't necessarily fully mean that you have. I need you to be emotionally together, and then spiritually together, and financially stable, where you have your own car and you could drive me around, you know what I'm saying, and you have your own stable place. May not be yours, you might be, you know, because people transition,
But you can handle the transition. I like somebody on Facebook said, if a person comes to a relationship in need, then they have come empty-handed.
Can't nobody I don't want nobody empty-handed. Don't come to me. Nah, I done been there, done that. Just getting out of prison and just came with the yellow bag and that's all they had. No. Sorry. Over and done with.
And I like this comment here. It said, a man with no ambition is a man that is not in the Lord. God not gonna let a man sit and be content with no vision. That's right. That's the devil right there. So if there is no vision, there is no growth. And when there is no growth, God is not there.
Wow.
I think women call it ambition. Men on the other side of the plate call it something else. You know what I'm saying? That's just like applying action in your life. I don't think I've ever heard it say, man, yes, they have motivation. They use a different word. But ambition, we know, is motivation, is action, applying action in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think some guys may say, well, I have a plan in action. You know, I have a plan in place. They're trying to do something. Go ahead, Keena.
Okay. I was just sitting there thinking about that when you just said that. That I date reality. I don't date potential. I date in what you bring to the table right now. Not that I have a plan, I have a vision. I need to see where you are right now. You may be a millionaire in 5 years, but I need to make sure that you are taking care of that $20,000 job and making sure your coins is taking care of yourself. I think a lot of times we put our rose colored glasses on and we look at the guy like, yeah, he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that, and then he don't turn out to be nothing. And then say you can turn it around for a woman. She looks like she's gonna be a good wife, a good helpmeet, and she brings you down into foolishness, into drama every day. I deal with people in their reality, not their potential.
Okay.
I'm really a black and white person because there's foolishness in gray.
So
There's
no, go ahead. Because you said it. You said, so I think most of everyone here agrees that we're looking, because I want to make sure the gentlemen that are listening, or even the women that are listening, want to communicate this to their friends. Like, let me tell you now, the women are not looking for that. That when a man comes to the table, or when a man comes to you, he needs to have his life in order. Even if you are, as Josette said, in transition, you can afford the transition and you're working toward whatever that transition is going to take you toward. There's a plan. There's a motivation, because I mean, we're not we're in this group. We're not young. We're not 20-some-year-olds. It's a different mindset when you're in your 20s. Everyone's trying to figure it out. But when you get to your mid 30s, to your late 30s, to your early 40s, late mid, we figured some things out. And we would hope that these young gentlemen or these older gentlemen have figured some things out. So we get to this age, we're thinking that you're going to be able to communicate your plan, your vision, your ambition, because you would want, as a man, for that woman to have confidence in whatever you're doing in your life and be able to trust that you are somebody that she can trust and rely on and be there for and encourage. We're not here to waste our time. And the same thing for us as women. We're going to make sure we're together. So we will hope that that same action, that same work is being reciprocated, right? Okay. So that's the nugget for the fellas. All right. Josette had a question. Now, this is funny, though, Josette, because I'm sitting here looking like, I don't care as long as I'm there. Remember your ex. Yes, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend. What if you saw him in heaven when you passed away? How would you respond? How would you feel? What would you do? Now, for me, Josette, I love the Lord. I believe him. I'm saved and sanctified. I accepted the blood of Jesus. I'm covered in the blood. So I'm just happy to be there. I don't care who else there. When I go on the other side, I'm there. I would love to see some folks that I know, but I'm just happy to be there. So y'all tell me, how y'all gonna feel when y'all see that person that did you wrong on the other side? Oh man, that have done you wrong. They just, well, we're gonna assume that's because you're gonna be surprised. If you want to be surprised, you're gonna be somebody you did you wrong. Tia, had your hand up, I think. I keep behind my little Facebook post.
We should rejoice, right? Whatever past, because of past, see forgetfulness.
Okay, we can't hear you, Tia. Speak a little bit louder, Tia.
Oh, you're supposed to let it go. Let that go and be grateful that people learn to love the Lord and that they got right before they came to, before they came to pass. So I say, good for you, good for me. And then the reality fact is when we get to heaven, we're gonna be rejoicing so much. We ain't gonna be thinking about that past stuff. Like if you that petty that you keep on considering all the stuff that happened to you when back in the day, like you is missing the streets of gold while you thinking about how they did you. So hallelujah, let's get down these roads of gold.
Mess around and get put out.
First day.
Wow,
The
I'm
first day
impressed
gets
by
put out.
y'all.
Trying to
I
hold on
love
to
the
old
way y'all
stuff.
making me look at it different. I'm impressed by y'all answers.
Get put out.
I'm gonna tell
You
you,
have the lot wife. Look, Tia, what happened to lot wife? Trying to focus on old stuff. No.
Teresa, you had something to say?
when we get to heaven, it ain't gonna matter anyway because you're not gonna remember all that old stuff because you're gonna be changed within the twinkling of an eye, as he says. So you're not gonna know. You're not gonna even know that we're gonna be changed and be in a different body anyway. So you may recognize him. You may. I'm not sure how heaven's gonna be, but if he made it there, then he must have got it right somewhere along the way. And we got it right, individually. We got it right because we made it to heaven. But none of that's going to matter when you get there. Now, ask me that question. Ask me that same question? I would say, but just turn around and say, you saw me in Food Line yesterday or tomorrow or the day. That's a different kind of, you're going to keep it, but heaven ain't going to matter because you're not going to know. All those things have passed away. So I'm just glad you made it. I'm glad you made it.
And so we're going to pray about those individuals that you don't want to see at the food giant or the Publix and the Kroger. Because I have an ex that every time somebody even talk about him, I say, don't say that name. It's like Beetlejuice. Once you say it, I don't want to
Baltimore.
It's just weird. Because I just witnessed a big argument the other day, and the lady was saying to the ex-boyfriend, "If I ever see you again, I'm gonna kill you." And my response was, "Girl, what if you see him in heaven? What if God done changed his heart? What if God done turned him into a preacher? You still gonna try and kill him, and y'all both in heaven?" And that was where I came up with it.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
And then it also made me think of God changes people while you here on earth too. So
exactly.
That's true. That's so true. But I know for me, I'll be so excited to see Jesus. I'm high fiving everybody's like, "You made it! You made it!"
Oh man, that's some good
You
stuff.
get a robe. You get a robe. You get a robe.
That's some good stuff because I never even thought of that.
And then for me, it's like, as being a minister, it's like, I want to see somebody that was in my Sunday school class, in my Bible study class, somebody that I know that I ministered to in some way. They can say, "You know what? I'm here because of you." That will mess you up. That's what I
good.
want. I want to see God. I want God. I pray God line them people up. I want to see who got here because I sowed a little bit of seed.
That's what my thought was. You planted a little seed, and even
one seed I planted got somebody here, or encouraged them enough that they can still get here. So that's all I see too. We're gonna rejoice.
I think that's true life success. Anytime that you can sow a seed in a person and they change the trajectory of their life's path to get back on the right road, that's success. It's not accolades, it's not money, it's not awards, it's not acknowledgement. It's how you change that person's life. Yeah, most definitely.
Amen.
But I think we in all of our exes, in the past, the ex-boyfriend, the ex-people that I had, I know that most women plant a seed in their life, and they know they was just ugly, and we had to leave. We had to leave in order that somebody else can water that seed.
Oh, Shannon, did you have something?
Oh God. No, okay. I was just going to say, like, I would love to see, those people in heaven as well. But truth be told, I'm just thankful that I got there because at the end of the day, we all mess up. We all mess up. And God could cancel any one of us whenever he feels like it because we are disobedient. You know, we don't always do exactly what he wants us to do. And so that alone warrants us not even having the right to be there. Like he can say, no, you're not. So I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm like, Lord, you called my number. That's all I'm worried about.
Y'all really did enlighten my spirit tonight because I never thought about. I guess my vision has always been. You know, how you see that elevator that's only like halfway, and then the doors open up. Like it ain't just gonna. It ain't. I always thought I've been on that elevator. It ain't the doors ain't gonna go. It ain't go all the way go up. You know. So y'all just made me look at something. Oh, I got some good stuff to think about tonight, y'all. Thank you.
I'm so glad. That's why we're here, girl. That's why we're here. Enlighten, encourage one another.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. My elevator been stuck. I ain't never even...
Move on up. All right. To the heaven side. Okay. All right. Keena got a question. And I'm going to ask Keena to give us her question because I'm still trying to struggle with this word, even though I think it's French. And I took Spanish and German, Hebrew, and Greek. So I don't know this word. So where does
misogyny noir come from?
How do we recognize it and heal that wound? So some of us had to Google it and look up in dictionary.com, and that word means the specific hatred, dislike, distrust, and prejudice directed toward Black women. So where do y'all think that comes from? And how do we recognize it? Well, let's first start with where do we think it came from? And then we'll go to the part B.
I think it's a misunderstanding of the interpretation of who we are as Black women. We are women of strength. We are women of integrity, not because we wanted to be, but because we had to be, you know, and society deem us and ding us as being one that we're bossy, that we're mad all the time, you know, that that we have to demand our way or yell or and things of that nature. I think it's a mischaracterization. You have to know who I am and where I come from to understand why I do what I do, you know. I think for me, comparing myself to another woman of ethnicity, you know, I look at my strength and the wisdom that I was groomed with. And I relish in that because my ancestors taught me how to ride it out. You know, they didn't tell me to sit in the corner. They didn't tell me I had to depend on a man. My ancestry told me that I had a heavenly father that I can depend on and to rely on him. And in history, I can do all things. So when you take that upon your shoulders, yeah, you're going to look at me like I'm bossy. You're going to look at me like I'm mad and angry. But in a sense, it's just you don't understand who I am. Mic off.
But how could we not understand each other if we're talking about a Black on Black situation?
I'm speaking on behalf of how, like, other cultures may look at us. Like, white people may look at us. Even some Black men, actually, you know, there's I consider it as a preference. You know, some men prefer to date white women because they're more submissive, right? As opposed to talking to a Black woman because she's more vocal or opinionated. That's the position I'm coming from.
And there's so many directions this can go in because we go back to slavery and the power of that Black woman. You know, that Black woman was sometimes the attraction that slave master have had to that Black woman. The children that were produced between that relationship, I don't want to say relationship, between that slave master and that Black woman, the jealousy that persisted between that wife of that slave master and this Black woman, the Black woman, the strength she had to build herself up toward being in the field, to giving birth, to taking care of the children here and her own children. I mean, there's this image of strength, and there's a jealousy sometimes of that strength that Black women have always carried, that they've had to deal with from other cultures. And there's also the issues we have within our own race when it comes between whether it's colorism or whether it's a lot of different things, y'all. A lot of different things, And so, we can look at, we looked at Lovecraft. You got two sisters, two different skin tones, competing with one another, fighting for the love of someone who's already passed on. You look at what society is dealing with today. We deal with Black women who can't coexist in one room at one corporation or one
That's what I'm experiencing right now.
Because it's like it's almost like, well, two women are too many in this house or in this office setting. Two Black women. It's okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you a thought. The Lovecraft. One Black woman got the job. Now she's hating on that Black woman because she got the job. It was only room for one Black woman. You have people out there who think that it's only room for one Black woman. We still have that thought today. And so there's this hate that we have within our own gender, within our own race, and it's cross-cultural and so forth. So I'm not a history major. So go ahead, Shannon. You were going to respond, because when I'm looking at this issue, this could be a whole Tuesday talk and a month, because we're going to do some research on this topic. Girl, you went too deep. You need to come back and teach a class.
Very. We could. I'm like,
that's what walkers do.
We could have really done the whole Tuesday talk on this one topic.
Yes.
Because it is so complex. And I saw someone in the comments just post, Leslie just put it up, and it says that Black women are the least protected
Black women are the most hated and the least protected on earth.
And there are so many of us that feel that way, and there are so many reasons why. But the best analogy, and I've expressed this, I think, before, that I can give is and this touches on, I think, what I don't know if it was either Teresa or Josette was saying, but it's almost like Black women, if we're in, Black women, Black men, we're in one place together. It could be the forest together. And then all of a sudden, we know that there are going to be enemies around in that forest, whether it's lions, whether it's tigers, bears, oh my, whatever the case may be. But what has happened is Black women feel as if Black men walked out of that forest and literally left us there to fend for ourselves. And so what happened was, because we are resilient in nature, we learn how to fight. We learn how to fight. We learn how to protect ourselves. We learn how to take care of ourselves and our children. Okay. And in turn, sometimes what they perceive as angry, it's not that we're angry. We're just tough. We're tough. We've been through enough. And if you're not going to come in and add to the situation, it's like, that's where that low tolerance comes from. Because we had to endure too much alone by ourselves when we were not created to endure these things. We were not created to have to fight for everybody and to still try to survive on our own. And we talked about this one time before, even when it comes to Black families and divorce rates and stuff like that, and why is divorce rate higher now than it was then? Well, back then, guess what? My grandfather was still a Rolling Stone. He still had kids outside of his marriage. My grandmother still had to go work to provide for her 7 children. So no, they didn't get divorced, but guess what? She was still a single parent in a marriage. And so I feel like Black women are sometimes put in positions that we didn't ask to be in, that we didn't care to be in, but because of it, it made our skin thicker. And to others, they perceive that as, oh, she's too strong, she's too independent, she's angry. No, that's not it. You've just put us in situations that we didn't ask to be in, and because of that, we had to rise like the phoenix out of the ashes and make something out of ourselves. And so it was that, oh, we went to the jobs, and this was even talking about something that Kina said last week, about education. Yes, we went back to school and we got educated because we realized that it was that was going to help us provide for our families better. And so that comes to that resilience of Black women. And so I just feel like this whole topic is something that can be impacted for days, for weeks, for months, because it is so complex and it is so complicated.
Okay, just said, yeah, I think it was just said and Kina maybe, but you don't have it just said? Okay. Tia, I'm sorry, Kina. Tia.
Go Tia.
Okay. So I just was thinking, I think that we all, like, that's why we're here, right? We yearn for companionship, we yearn to be with someone, we yearn to find, that man that we can be the helpmeet for. And so I think Shannon's right on, is that we've had to assimilate, adjust, some of the perceived hardness is really just a defense mechanism to survive. And you see, I mean, that's even why we struggle love a lot of times, is because I just want to be with someone that I can help and support and love on, and that will love me too. And we look at this situation and think, well, if I could just support him enough, he would be right. If I could just love him hard enough, then he would do this, that, or the other. He would reciprocate. And so I think the thing, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to bash men. That is not my goal at all. My goal is just to say that we survive and we make adjustments based on what we need to do to survive, but that in reality, there's a yearning to be with a man that we can just allow to, we're all Christians in here. Like, our mates are supposed to lead us, and we're supposed to have confidence in them. And so if we aren't with someone that we feel confident is leading us, then we take over, because we gotta make our families work. Whether we have children or not, we are all nurturing somebody somewhere. And so we got to make that work. And we do it with the tools that we have, with the opportunities, with the resources that we have in front of us. And if we can be soft and docile and embrace someone that can, we know has our back, then I think we happily. I mean, how many times you met a woman, or you've been that woman that, when that right guy comes around, even if he's a right guy for just a hot minute, like, you soften. You want that. We yearn for that.
That's true.
So I just, like, there is a perception that we're hard and mean and evil, and I think it's part of the systemic thing, right? That we were pitted against each other, and so it's interwoven in the fabric of our existence. And so we are now at the moment where we're fighting to unweave all of that so that we can encourage one another.
But how is it that people are fighting, but you're still fighting with other Black women? I don't understand. So everything that Shannon just said, I could see that as being true, but I did not view life that way. I just was not an angry person. I just was not. My battle has never been against other women, but they have always turned, like I'm in a new environment. I'm in a new job. I've only been at that job for 2 months. And there's maybe 5 black women. None of them speak to me. I don't care how much I speak to them. There's one lady and she looks just like me, light skinned, long hair, and me and her have been able to connect and communicate and conversate. Whereas these other women, they don't even speak to me. Why? I don't know. But even the Trump supporters, the pink Trump people, will come to me and congratulations. Why? I have not done nothing to y'all, man. I have not done nothing to y'all. And I deal with that for so long. It's just like ridiculous. Like I'm trying my best not to cuss right now, but everything you just said is everything I've been dealing with all my life. And it's like, why? And everybody want to explain. There is no excuse for that. I do not live to survive in life. I do not live because it's a struggle. I thrive in life, which makes me not angry. So I don't understand why black women are like that. They call on the phone and call up to the front counter, and I get phone calls from the counselors all day. They need somebody to come. Well, they don't even want to work. Like, can you tell my patient to go over here? But nobody else is doing that. Why? Why? I don't. It's all a bunch of crap to me. Why?
Kina.
I think this topic, like Jenna said, this is a huge topic.
Yeah,
And
can we just move on? Because now I'm seeing some angry people. Like, just move on.
It encompasses so much because what you're dealing with, and we're just going to say it, you're dealing with colorism. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There is a level of perceived privilege that you have that you may or may not even realize that allows you to move in certain areas where someone else who may be of darker hue may not be able to move into the area. I've experienced that with my voice. I sound like a white girl. And I have, for years, when I was a child, the reason why I sound like this because I couldn't talk and I had speech therapy. And so the person that did my speech therapy was a white woman. So I picked up her Southern Belle vernacular and her tonality that now people will say you're trying to be white. There is in all of this, all of it stems from slavery. It all stems from slavery. The issue with colorism with you just that the issues that I experienced with different women in different workplaces, with that we all experience, or the fact that we're not believed when we hurt. They say that black women are so strong, but that takes away our humanity to feel pain or to even have someone to be soft to be vulnerable to, because we've had to take care of everyone else but ourselves. We're everything to everybody but ourselves. And when you're dealing with that, what just said was, when you're dealing with that type of issue in that type of environment, because my mother's a very fair-skinned woman. She's lighter than you. And what she's taught me is this. Sometimes you have to let people be in their own foolishness.
And that means the majority of black people I have to deal with here in California.
Yes, because if you don't do that, you will take on their burden when it's not yours.
Exactly. All of my recovery from me being clean and being in recovery 13 years, all Caucasian people. My whole entire church, all Caucasian people. And that's where I found peace. And that wasn't because of privilege or because of whatever, but that's where I found peace. That's where my relationship with God was built. And I felt like an infiltrator. But I had to do what I had to do to get closer to God without anger.
But I do. Well, go ahead.
I'm not reading no book on dark girls. I could have wrote the book. Sorry, honey. I don't know who that is, but I ain't reading it.
One thing I'm trying to put my thoughts together. One thing I want to add is we're all believers. We're all Christians here, right? And one thing I've learned is that people, regardless, are hard to deal with. Yes. Regardless. because we all have our unique ways. We have our own unique demons and burdens and flaws and weaknesses, strengths, sinfulness, and all of that is. And God just asked us to love each other. And I remember asking God, well, how sometimes people are hard to love. He said, I just need you to love the God in that person. Get beyond all this foolishness, as Kina has said it is, and love the God in that person. Because if you do that, they will learn to love you. You will know how to be, it's just being a better person. But one thing we have to remember is that we are a broken people. Okay, we are a broken people who have been reared from brokenness, that was reared from brokenness. Okay, and each generation tries to get a little bit better in the midst of that brokenness, but it's never perfect. And we're all trying to heal it in a way that sometimes it's not even godly. Sometimes it's just worldly band-aids we're putting on these things. We're not going to God for that true, complete healing on that. Because when we do, that's when all of this kind of, it doesn't mess with us. Because we know it's not God. We know it's not God. And so I'm like Kina. My mom was very fair-skinned. My grandmother's siblings, from the lightest light to they pass as white to the darkest dark, jet black dark. Okay? And I wondered how that dynamic existed with those siblings. But one thing they did still taught was to love each other, regardless of the color of their skin. Some people were not taught that. We are dealing with people who grandmothers may have looked at them and held up that paper bag and said, she ain't make it. This is my favorite one over here because she did make it. So they already have an inner hate or a low self-esteem or a lack of love for themselves because of something grandmama said. And the mama didn't help. They just let it go. Oh, mama's so funny. But you didn't encourage and compliment and make that child feel beautiful in her skin. So now she thinks her skin is ugly and not attractive, and thinks that anyone that's lighter than her is better than her, or someone that she shouldn't like or have some kind of ill feeling to, because she had the cousins that were light, that got the good Christmas gifts, and she got the ones that weren't so nice. So there's something that was birthed in her as a child that she never shook off. And a lot of women are dealing with that. We saw that movie School Days, the colorism that existed in that, because it existed. And it still exists to this day. Now, today in 2020, what do we do to combat that?
That's what I was going to ask you. What am I supposed to do in the meantime?
Love them.
From a distance or up close?
No, you can love them in their face. But look, you can love them from wherever you are. But one thing God's going to come to you about is that how did you treat the people who didn't treat you right? That's what we want to make sure. When he says, well done, good and faithful servant. God said, it's easy to love the people that love you. But how did you treat the people that didn't like you, that cussed you out, that did you wrong? How did you treat them? And sometimes we have to just ingratiate ourselves a little bit more and extend ourselves to some people who may act like they don't like us, to show them that I'm not your enemy. I'm not here to harm you. We're here to work together as a team. My skin is not a threat to you. And sometimes we got to teach people that whoever you're dealing with in your head ain't true. And I'm going to show you it ain't true. Yes, ma'am, Shannon.
Yeah, and to speak on what Josette was saying too, and I'm glad you said that, Leslie, because my grandmother used to say that all the time. At the end of the day, you're not going to be judged on how people treated you. You're going to be judged on how you treated people. And yes, we do have to love those who treat us poorly. You ain't gotta like them though. I ain't never seen that in the Bible. I've never seen that at all. You do have to love them. We have to love them with the love of Christ. And yes, we're going to be the light to show them that. But there's nowhere that says that you still have to be abused. You got to let people talk to you crazy, do you any kind of way. No, you love them, you pray for them. But at the end of the day, you still don't have to allow people to mistreat you.
That's
you
right.
Don't. I don't care who it is. That's not, I've never seen that. I've never seen it. And I read and study all the time. Nowhere does God give the command for us to like somebody, because there's a difference between flesh and spirit. You want to love the spirit of a person because it's the soul that we're worried about. But that carnal stuff, that fleshly stuff that we deal with all the time, you ain't gotta like that. You don't, and you don't have to deal with that being mistreated by anybody. Okay, at all.
So I can tell anybody, it just takes a lot of prayer. Because I mean, when you're in a situation that you cannot remove yourself from, and that's usually like the workplace or some other organization we may be a part of, and you dealing with people that just want to mishandle you or just don't like you for any other reason aside from you just being you or you just being in the room. You just love them and you just be kind. Because the one thing I would hate for someone to say, and they probably said it before, Leslie acted a mess to that girl, or Leslie did this, or like, what was going on with Leslie? See, that's what I don't need you to say. I need somebody to say, Leslie was just so nice and sweet. Why does this woman act so mean toward Leslie? I need you to not even say Leslie did something wrong, and just be sweet, be kind, and be your loving woman of God self. And just let that be, and let the Lord deal with that, because the Lord will deal with it.
Oh yes,
because when we have those attitudes, He's dealt with us. Is that not right?
Amen.
Right? He set us straight, so to let the Lord deal with it. You just do your part and be nice and be kind and be loving, and that's first and foremost. Now, this hatred among this other stuff. It's so deep and it's so ingrained in the fabric of this country to the point where, like T, it's systematic. It's in the structure. You see, one of the things that my company does, my organization that we do is advocacy work around equal pay. Black women are paid 73 cents on the dollar. It's in the system. It's already set up in certain areas. So we have to realize that we're fighting a battle in so many areas of our life, and we just don't need to be fighting each other. We really don't. Okay. All righty. The producer said we have 10 more minutes. So we have one more question from Josette, and I just need you to give us a definition. Bring us back to happy, girl. Bring us back to happy. Tell us
a definition
what
of what
is a holiday friend and a winter cuddle buddy. A holiday friend or a winter cuddle buddy. Why or why not? So tell us, what is a holiday friend and what is a winter cuddle buddy?
When it's that season, it started happening whenever the pumpkin come out, when fall leaves start to fall and it starts to get a little cold, and you want that winter cuddle buddy, and some people only look in the winter, some people tend to, and then they want the holiday season girlfriend, or they want the holiday season boyfriend, and Christmas is coming, I need to get me one, or all of that. The tax season is coming. I think I better get with him. That
Mike said it's closely related to homosexual.
But I mean, there are women that look for, that. I mean, when you put it, you got to think about it. A lot of different holidays come up, and you have that special. Like, I don't know if I want to go to the Halloween party alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to go to the Christmas party alone. So as a woman, it's kind of like, I like opening up gifts with another male figure. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the relationship stuff gets put on an extra height during the holiday season.
It does. Go ahead, Lena. Jelena.
For me, my response is no. I don't want to be in a fairy tale. For me, I'm not talking about anybody else. For me, it will feel like a fairy tale situation, and this is my reality in my life. Now, if something happens between here and November or December, then who knows if getting to know someone and we just dating, but I'm not going to press a relationship with anyone just because it's the holiday time. That's for me. I'm talking about Elena. So my response is no. Mike off.
Ooh, y'all have tickled me tonight. I was gonna say that I know for a lot of people, holidays are tough, just like Josette was saying, because a lot of people deal with grief during holidays from missing loved ones that are passed on, and so sometimes, even if they're temporarily, I've seen it where people. I have not done that, but I've seen it where people will, get into relationships just to fill the void for that moment during those, those grieving times. So I've seen that happen.
Anyone else? I know one thing. I'm tired of going. I'm tired of being alone on New Year's Eve. If it's any other fairy tale I want, is to have a date on New Year's Eve.
I agree. Definitely. Because you want to put on that dress, girl, and heels and step on that.
That's okay, Leslie. I'm coming to get you.
Okay. Ooh, all right. I got a party. We'll have a party.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's probably I'm always with family for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, that helps fill that void. Because I know when my parents died, we were trying to figure out how this whole holiday thing was going to work out moving forward. And you're right, Shannon. I mean, I'm also a grief counselor, so I understand helping people deal with grief, and that is the most critical time of the year because people are missing those loved ones. Life has to be reimagined because somebody has passed. The grandmother has passed on. What are we gonna eat? And have to sit there and grieve and deal with it. And just the changes of life can really mess people up. And it is also the time of year where you have the highest rate of suicides because people just can't deal with it. And they don't see themselves making it through the new year and they just end it. So it is a very devastating time and people find these coping mechanisms to help get them over. And sometimes, man, that is like Elena was saying, that fairy tale love. I'm just gonna love them till I can get to the next year. I mean, that's it's a coping mechanism. I understand they're right. They ain't holy.
They're gonna drop it. I think people make new traditions too. So, because I know some people that if they lose a family member or they lose a spouse per se, there was this lady, she lost her spouse, and her son, their new tradition was to travel. They decided the holiday time they were going to travel. They were not going to be nowhere near the house. So they decided to travel. So sometimes you have these new traditions, and I'm trying to figure out, to be honest, my traditions. I mean, what I'm doing this holiday season. I'm still single right now, and and my mom died a few months ago, and so who knows? I mean, I have my family here, but I'm just saying, if I want to actually be around them the whole time or go somewhere. So so sometimes people make new traditions, around the holiday.
Yeah, and that's the smart thing to do. And this is the time of year where people, when they're missing those loved ones, of how are we going to do this, and sit around with your family and really have those conversations because you're supposed to be there to support one another. And me and my brother had to do like, what are we going to do now? What we going, where are we going to go? Who going to cook the dressing? You know what I'm saying? All those kind of things that you're sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to make life different. And, for your, how you're going to deal with this difference and this change in your life. And so I suggest anyone come up with new traditions, be intentional, be very intentional about it because you don't know how you'll feel on that day. So be intentional to do something so you're not alone and you're sitting in that moment of grief and sadness. But still, it's not just the death of somebody, it's just also the loss of a love. If you were in a relationship earlier this year and you are already imagining what you're going to do for Christmas and that gift you were going to get him or how New Year's is going to be and all that, you're grieving a loss of a relationship and so forth. So sometimes we use these coping mechanisms and they don't always work out in our favor. So let's be smart about that, right? I mean, because we don't want to be coming on Tuesday Talk in January fussing about some Negro you didn't found at the Halloween party. So I got one.
Leslie she said, Leslie started sounding like a commercial for a second. She said, let's be smart. I'm adding in my head, use condoms.
That too.
I was going along with the commercial you was trying to sell, Leslie. You was selling a good commercial, but you forgot that part.
I didn't go there. No, we're not going to go there. No, we're not going to go there. I'm just saying, be careful. Follow. Mind your heart. Mind your heart, right? Don't fall into situations that you know are not for your good. Okay?
Amen.
Right. Amen. So as we close, I see everyone on here with their lips popping. I need everyone to tell me what lipstick, lip gloss that you are wearing. And I'm gonna call your name out. You tell me the brand, the color, and if you are a distributor, because I know somebody is. And then we'll close out this meeting in the ladies' room. Y'all, did y'all have fun?
Yay!
Woo! All right, now, Teresa, what you wearing, girl? What you got on your lips?
Okay, I am wearing a dark chocolate lip liner. I am wearing a rich bronze Mary Kay lip gloss and lip liner, and I am wearing bronze 2 foundation.
Oh, okay. She went down to the makeup now. Okay, we've gone a little bit too far. Teresa, are you a Mary Kay rep?
Yes, Teresa? I am, and I always yes, and these are good brushes.
Oh, okay. All
foundation
right.
brushes. But anyway.
Okay, so if you want more information on what Teresa has on her lips, you send her a direct message, a DM, get in her inbox. Keena, what you wearing, girl? You on mute, Keena?
I'm wearing MAC lip gloss in bow. Ooh. And on top of that, I'm wearing Burke B's Autumn Sunrise.
Go ahead, girl. Didi, what you got, girl? You over there beat. Didi is we gonna have to come back beat.
I'm wearing a combination of Morphe is my liner. I did an ombre lip tonight. Morphe is called the crayon stick. It was my first time using it. I forget the color, but if you ask me, I can tell you. And my lipstick tonight is by ColourPop that I've had it so long, I forgot what the name of it is. So it's Morphe and ColourPop tonight.
All right, just say what you popping over there.
I have on Alessa's Josette's lickety lips. I don't know. I don't think I have a lickety split. Use your own spit. I don't know what I have on or where it came from, but it worked good for the moment.
You ate some chicken?
I drank some water. Baby.
Shannon, what you got, girl? What you wearing?
Foundation MAC. My lips are a mixture of Antique Velvet and Diva, also MAC.
Okay. All right, Elena, is that water or is that chicken grease? Which one you got?
No. Well, y'all know how I am about water. Don't make me go there about the water situation. Okay, so Nothing around here but my lips. No makeup all over. Lip gloss is sheer berry. NYX. Sheer berry.
That's a cute little. That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, girl.
Y'all
Tia,
keep
what
it
you got?
close-handed too. Y'all keep it right next to y'all, like it's right here.
I
It's right
have
here.
to fix it back up again. I done been on 3 calls tonight. So church
Wait a minute.
calls and now here.
Here we go. This is what's going on next. Vapor. Vapor.
Tia, what you got, girl?
Just old fashioned pomegranate lip balm. Just lip balm.
Love it. Oh, it's a good flavor though.
Yep.
I bet that tastes
And
good, girl. She ready for that boom. He's on you taste good.
She got hers next to her too. See, I'm gonna give y'all a tip. If you put some of that vapor and chest rub inside your mask, you won't smell nothing foul. Rub some on the inside of your mask, baby. You know them onion breath, you won't smell nothing.
Okay, y'all. Okay, all right. I have on this is Lip Bar. Lip Bar. The color is Rebel. It is a black-owned lipstick company that they sell in Target. Okay, black-owned. I think she's out of Detroit or somewhere in Michigan. So, and it's Rebels what I have on with some probably some Maybelline foundation that I have on. All right, y'all, this was so much fun.
It was.
Well, you gotta tell what Mike is wearing. He said what he was wearing in the comment.
He may pop up. I don't know. He may want to pop up. I'm not even sure, but he's producer from the background.
Well,
And
he said he wearing Dollar General lip balm.
Okay. Hey, Mike is keeping it soft for the ladies, y'all. He's keeping it soft for that prospective lady.
I like this kind of man that actually put on lip chap or something too. They be needing to. I'm just saying, but that's 10 o'clock after party. Let me be quiet.
Exactly.
Men need to put some chap on sometime too.
They really do.
Hey, Leslie.
Yes, ma'am.
You did an awesome job tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Phenomenal job.
The future is female.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The producer is instructing me to remind everyone of Shoot Your Shot on Saturday evening. I'm not last Saturday. It was an ice cream social. Everyone brought their ice cream, so that was fun. So shoot your shot. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready to shoot your shot to SBC or SBCC, make sure you let Mike or Josette know that you are here to let the world know that you are single and ready to date and ready to mingle and all of that above and not below. Okay, all that above and not below. Okay, the after party would be in the SBC Fellowship Hall. Everyone bring your lipstick so you can put it on after you consume this chicken. And the chicken gizzards will be served. I don't know about all that. I'm looking for a chicken thigh or a leg or something. Okay. And the after party will begin soon after. And I hope everyone had a really good evening and a good time. Mm-hmm. And we will see y'all next Tuesday on Tuesday Talk. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.